Hey guys, today's video we are taking a look and discussing once again Tropical Storm Bret and Tropical Storm Cindy, which has strengthened overnight last night, and is now at 50 miles per hour, 1,003 millibars, moving west-northwest at 16 miles per hour. Tropical Storm Bret has now officially moved all the way through the Leeward Islands and is now on a general weakening trend for the most part, is at 60 miles per hour, 1,002 millibars. If we take a look at Bret's remaining forecast track from the National Hurricane Center, you can see it is forecast to continue generally in its direct westward path. It's currently moving at 21 miles per hour and likely will be a tropical depression by Sunday morning. So the National Hurricane Center seems to think it will be still a tropical cyclone for a little longer than previously anticipated. We thought maybe it would dissipate by tomorrow morning or sometime tomorrow on Saturday, but now it looks like it will still be a tropical cyclone by the time we get towards Sunday morning, and most likely start to really dissipate by that point, it seems. And the tropical storm watches, warnings, hurricane watches, they are now all out of effect for the Leeward Islands that Bret had moved through over the nighttime hours and yesterday, late yesterday. So now Bret is just moving away from land and is encountering a lot more wind shear, which is continuing to tear the storm apart. We'll look at what Bret currently looks like right now, and really, you'd be surprised that it is even a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm right now still. Now, let's take a look at Tropical Storm Cindy. It is now a 50-mile-per-hour tropical storm, 1,003 millibars. As I've said before, it's moving to the west-northwest at 16 miles per hour. Let's look at the forecast track for Cindy, and you can see it is generally going to continue to move in the west-northwest direction and bypass the northern Leeward Islands, Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico to their north and west in the coming days, and going into the end of this weekend into the very beginning of next week as a weakening tropical storm. It looks like it will peak as a 65-mile-per-hour tropical storm. However, with how Cindy looks currently and how it did look and how it did perform overnight last night, it does seem like it's really trying to get its act together a lot better than Bret had been trying to do in the same general area. And so maybe we could see Cindy get a little stronger than 65 miles per hour for its peak. So we'll have to keep a very close eye on that. It doesn't seem like there really will be any watches or warnings put up for even the northern Leeward Islands, Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico, because Cindy is fairly very small and compact system. So its wind field really is not extending out all that far. So at most, really, it should bring general, maybe heavier amounts of rainfall on its outer bands towards the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Northern Leeward Islands. But other than that, it doesn't seem like the National Hurricane Center will issue any tropical storm watches or warnings or any of that matter. So let's look at currently what Tropical Storm Bret first looks like. And you can see Tropical Storm Bret really... You would never in a million years, I don't think anyone would assume this is a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm currently still. This really, Bret has taken a massive hit overnight, and the wind shear you can see is really taking a toll on it. The general convection is still trying to blow up, generally around the center still for the most part, but it is starting to fail at that and will really be on a likely massive weakening trend throughout the rest of today and into tonight into tomorrow, and the next day or two after that as it starts to really dissipate. So I would not be surprised if, as we get into later today and the next advisories for this system, the National Hurricane Center really starts to show the strength of the system really going down more and more. Now, let's take a look at what Tropical Storm Cindy looks like currently. And as I've said before, it is a very small, compact system. And you can see Cindy has generally been faring much better than Bret over the past night and the past day into this morning. The convection generally is really blowing up and continuing to blow up all around the center and to the west of the center. So it's really definitely trying to get its act together a lot better and a lot quicker than Bret, and it's strengthened from like 40 mile per hour tropical storm from like over generally all of overnight last night and yesterday into a 45 to 50 mile per hour tropical storm now all the way into the late morning now. So very, very interesting system to track, and it seems like this system will continue to get its act together and strengthen a bit more over the coming days or so. So it's very, very interesting to watch. The general track guidance kind of about perfectly lining up with the current National Hurricane Center forecast cone for Cindy. Shows it generally continuing to move in the west-northwest direction and bypassing the northern Leeward Islands, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico to their north and west in the coming days and into the beginning of next week. So the general intensity guidance shows Cindy will likely still continue to strengthen a bit, but generally the models are saying it will peak as a mid to strong tropical storm. It doesn't seem like any of the models really have it trying to get to hurricane status. There's this one model all the way towards the end of the forecast period trying to get it to just barely a minimal category 1, but that's all the way out towards the end of the forecasted range. And by that point, most likely it's going to be generally just on a weakening and dissipating trend by that point for the most part. So for now, it looks like Tropical Storm Cindy will peak as a 65 mile per hour tropical storm, but with the way it's looks right now and the way it's been trying to get its act together over the past 18 hours or so, it's been very, very interesting, and we will have to see how strong this storm really does get, because it wouldn't surprise me if it does in fact end up getting to a peak of about 70 to maybe even 75 miles per hour, maybe even reach that minimal hurricane status that Bret tried to do but failed at. So maybe Cindy is trying to achieve what Bret couldn't, but we will just have to see. We will just have to see. Now, let's look at the models, and we'll just look at the hurricane models. I think just for Cindy, I'll just show you Cindy, because we know Bret is generally going to continue to its west like it has been ever since it was named, and ever since it was moving through the main development region in the Atlantic and through the Leeward Islands and everything. So we'll just look at Cindy and see what the two main hurricane models are showing for Cindy. First, we're looking at the HWRF model for Cindy, and as we move forward in time into tomorrow and into Sunday, you can see the HWRF model really starts to strengthen the system a bit, but not all too much. And by the time we get into the beginning of next week, it really shows it weakening and dissipating. And by the time we get to the middle of next week, it really looks like Cindy will be on a full dissipating trend. Now let's look at what the HMON model shows for Cindy. And the HMON model, as we head into tomorrow, into the weekend, and into the beginning of next week, it shows the system generally trying to strengthen a little bit more, but as well, both hurricane models are actually agreeing fairly well together right now for this system, that it will really start to dissipate as we get into the towards the middle of next week, and it doesn't really show Cindy strengthening all too much. Maybe getting down towards like 998 millibars, or somewhere around that, getting a bit below 1,000 millibars. So that'll be very, very interesting to see. But it seems like Cindy, with how compact and small it is right now, and seems like it's actually trying to strengthen itself a bit more than what's generally forecasted for it. We could see its pressure and its general maximum sustained winds get a little bit lower and higher, respectively, in the coming days. And we may see it become a bit stronger than just a 65 mile per hour tropical storm. So we shall see. It'll be very, very interesting to especially track Cindy in the coming days into next week. And the general hurricane season at this point, the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season, for the most part, is it's underway. We now have a total of 4 tropical cyclones, 4 total storms, including the unnamed subtropical storm in January, and the 3 named storms that we've had since the very official beginning of the hurricane season on June 1st, with Arlene and now Bret and Cindy. And you can see Bret now no longer any tropical cyclone watches or warnings for that system, as now it has fully moved away from the Leeward Islands that it impacted overnight last night and late yesterday. Tropical Storm Cindy doesn't look like it will be impacting Any of the northern Leeward Islands, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, it looks like it will be moving safely to their north and west and more out to sea. So, and at that same time, it will be weakening and starting to dissipate as it's continuing to move to the north and west from those islands. That is currently what is going on in the tropics. Both Brett and Cindy are out there. Brett is really on its weakening, dissipating trend, it seems, at this point, especially with how it looks now, and it will continue to look a lot worse in the coming days with that enhanced wind shear really taking a toll on it. Cindy will likely continue to strengthen over the next day or two or so, and then it will likely, we'll start to see it as well, likely start to weaken and then dissipate as we get into next week, and especially as we get towards the middle of next week. It looks like Cindy will really start to dissipate and die out. But for now, we will continue to track, especially Cindy, for you guys in the coming days, into the weekend and into next week. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Really hope you found it informative, enjoyable, and you liked it. Like the video down below. Comment down below what you guys think Cindy's peak intensity will be. Do you guys think it could get a bit stronger? Maybe get to that actual minimal hurricane status that Brett was trying to do but failed at? Maybe Cindy will try and get there instead. Subscribe to the channel too if you like this type of content, want to see more of it in the coming days. I will be posting many more videos on Cindy as we get into the rest of this weekend and into next week as the system continues to move along to the north and west. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Again, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel for future content like this, and comment down below. Let's have a lively discussion down there and talk about what Tropical Storm Cindy will be doing in the coming days. How strong do you guys think it will get? And I'm looking forward to tracking as many systems as possible for this hurricane season with you guys throughout the rest of the season. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.